on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you guys today with a little bit of a late video. Wanted to get one in before I hit the hay. Work tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna do a draft grade. I got the Seattle Seahawks on the board today. Doing that as a request, like I'm trying to hit all these requests. So Seahawks are on the board. The Seahawks had the 27th pick, and draft was you know what I mean? But we'll get to that. They had the 27th pick, so their 27th overall pick was a guy, Jordan Brooks, linebacker out of Texas Tech. This was a really odd pick. I remember when this pick was made, everyone was like, "Who? Jordan Brooks?" And I was like, "Wow, man!" I had this guy ranked pretty low. I had him as about a late 4th, 5th round draft pick, and the kid went in the 1st round. He was a 4-year starter. He was 6'1", 240. Okay, 6'1", 240. He was a 4-year starter at Texas Tech. Really good athlete, good cover linebacker. Played well in space. He's one of those 4-down linebackers, meaning that plays 3 downs and then he can play special teams. Like he doesn't really come off the field. Like he's a good football player, though. You know what I mean? His instincts are lacking a little bit. He'll play a little bit too wild and inconsistent at times. And discipline will be an issue for him, probably at the next level. But he was really productive. He was super productive at Texas Tech, though, with 367 tackles, 33 for loss, 7 sacks, couple forced fumbles, couple picks, a few pass breakups, like 7 in 4 years. So I just think the pick itself for a 1st round, if you're looking for a linebacker, I thought that pick was just a little bit odd. I guess they were going for an athletic linebacker at the time, so that's what they got. They did get an athlete, but in the 1st round, I just thought that pick was just, I think it was unnecessary. But, you know, we'll see. We've been down this road before with the Seattle Seahawks, by the way. Everybody remembers 2012, when everyone destroyed their draft in 2012, and I was like Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, we all know what those guys did. Okay, so, but, you know, we'll see. Then they went on to the 2nd round, and they took Darrell Taylor, the defensive end out of Tennessee. I gave this guy about a 2nd or 3rd round draft grade, 6'3", 260 pounds. Freak athlete that loves to attack the quarterback. He's got insane bend, like coming off the end, like just coming right off that edge. If anybody can remember, he reminds me of Bruce Smith coming off the edge. If anybody remembers Bruce Smith, the guy had this angle that he used to come at quarterbacks. That was absolutely insane. It's like his feet would be like off the ground. His feet would be like off the ground, and he would just bend and just get around tackles. In the pros, he did that, and he did it in college too. But like this kid, he reminds me of that get off. He's not Bruce Smith. I'm just saying, he's got that bend. It's really crazy. Go look at his tape. It'll blow your mind. His closing speed is top notch too. So, but he's a guy that doesn't play the run well, and he just needs to get a little bit stronger. And everybody knows going to the NFL, you're going to get stronger. He's got a lot of versatility, though. He can play up, down, hand in the dirt, standing up, all that. He had 118 tackles, 26 for loss, 19 and a half sacks, and 6 forced fumbles. Back-to-back 8+ sack seasons in college. So he can get to the quarterback. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to get to the quarterback. Then they go on to the 3rd round, and they took Damian Lewis, the offensive guard out of LSU. 6'2", 330-pound guy that's real nasty. Really good anchor and really good strength. It's hard to move when he gets anchored. And extra long arms for his size. He's only 6'2", but he's got really long, powerful arms. Loves to go into the second level and just blow up defenders. Looking for a linebacker to kill or a safety or a corner. Just looking to really put someone into the dirt. So he's a nasty guard. He's really nasty. His pass protection needs some work though, so he's better at the run game. Then he has a little bit of time. He has a little bit of hard time recovering when he gets beat. So he just needs to work on his feet. Like every offensive lineman that I talk about, pretty much, man. I swear to God, it's like 97% of every offensive lineman I talk about needs to work on their feet. You can just tell. You can just tell, like when you watch tape of guys, and that's the one key thing that I always look for, man, is guys in their feet. But this guy needs to work on it, and I'm sure he will. Then they went in the fourth round and they took Colby Parkinson, the tight end out of Stanford. Massive kid, 6'6", 245, 250 pounds. Gave this kid about a fifth round grade, maybe fourth. Lined up everywhere at Stanford. He lined up as an H-back. He flexed out. He was in line with his own lineman. He lined up everywhere. He's a really big kid, so he was a really good red zone threat. Really good hands, good at the jump ball, high point, plucks the ball away from guys with ease. One thing I read about him that was really impressive about him is that he didn't drop any balls last year. Every ball that was catchable, he caught. So that tells me that the kid's got great hands, and Russell will love him, especially in that red zone. Not a great blocker, but he's willing. So he's willing to learn. So that's really good that you like to hear that. And he's not super quick, but he'll be a really good red zone threat for the Seahawks. I actually like that pick. I actually thought that was probably one of their best picks, because he could be a weapon. They do have a lot of tight ends over there in Seattle though, so I'm not sure this kid's going to be fighting, but his size alone, it will definitely get him a spot on the roster, in my opinion. 87 catches, 1,100 plus yards receiving, 13.5 yards per catch, which is solid, and 12 touchdowns over 3 years. So the kid's a pretty good football player, man. Then they go on to the fourth, and they take DJ Dallas, the running back out of Miami. 5'9", 215 pounds. I gave this kid about a fifth round grade. Went in the fourth. He's an all right. He's a good football player. Natural power with really good vision. He had really good vision. He'll grind out the tough yards. He won't shy away from contact. He's not going to try to run out of bounds. He's going to try to get that 1, 2, 3 extra yards, which you really love as a coach or a position coach. So you love seeing that. He's a pretty good receiver. He didn't have a lot of crazy stats as a receiver, but he has really good hands. They're natural hands, so he's really good at that. He's willing to pass protect too for your quarterback. So as a quarterback, you're gonna love that your running back loves to pass pro for you. That's always a bonus. And he plays special teams too. He was used as a returner. Not the quickest kid, but he's used as a returner. He's not a home run hitter or nothing like that. He doesn't get the ball, he's gone. He got caught a lot from behind. That's one thing I read about the kid, that he did get caught a lot from behind. He was in a committee at Miami too, so he wasn't. So who knows what kind of workload he's going to be able to handle at the next level. But in another sense, it's a good thing because he doesn't have a lot of mileage on those tires, and that's always a bonus, right? You don't want a guy that's got way too many carries and he just gets gassed. But this kid, he's a little bit of a project, but he's not bad. Over 1,500 yards rushing, 5.8 yards per carry, and 17 touchdowns, 28 catches, 317 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the air for like a few years at Miami as a Hurricane. So a little bit of a project though. Then they go on to the fifth round. The fifth round, they take Alton Robinson, the defensive end out of Syracuse. 6'3", 255 pounds. I gave this kid about a fifth round grade. He went where I thought he was going to go. His get off is very impressive. He's got good bend and dip with long arms, so you like that. And but he's a bit undersized. Doesn't play the run that great. He'll play it. He can play up. He can play down. So he can play with his hand in the dirt, and he can play that kind of like that jack linebacker role. Play right on the line or a little bit right off the line. So he's got a little bit of versatility to him. He did have some issues off the field. He has some robbery charges. He stole something from his ex-girlfriend. That I believe it was her purse or something like that. He stole some items from her, and I guess it was all dropped. It wasn't like taken to the full extent. So, but he has a little bit of character issues. He could be a pass rush specialist going into the next level. So that's good to hear. 115 tackles, 32.5 for loss, 19.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. I'm always big on that on those forced fumbles. I love hearing that, and that's in a 3-year deal at Syracuse there. So it wasn't a bad pick. He just got some character issues. Then they went on. They had, I think, 2 more picks. They took in the 6th round. They went Freddie Swain, the wide receiver out of Florida. 6 foot, about 200 pounds, 199 pounds. He's a slot wide receiver. He's a pretty big slot wide receiver. Good speed though, real good speed. He could be a number 3 in the future down the road. Who knows? The Russ likes to go deep, so if he can go deep and the kid can get under the ball, then that's good for Seattle. He played as a punt returner too, so he's got that special team ability in him. So, which is always good. The coaches love that. And 68 catches, 996 yards, just under 1,000 yards there. 14.6 average per catch, and 15 touchdowns. So that's not too bad, but it's another project, and we'll see where they go from there. Then this was our last pick. Steven Sullivan, the wide receiver out of LSU. This is the 7th round. 6'5", 248 pounds. So this kid's got tight end written all over him. But he ran a 4.66 40. It's pretty quick for a big kid. So he's got some quicks to him, which is nice. He has to develop, but he has some nice tools to work with. So he's got pretty decent hands. You know what I mean? His physicality isn't very special, but he's just a project. He's pretty much a project. He's got really good upside, and it's probably, like I said, he's probably going to play tight end at the next level. And he could maybe develop down the road into a wide receiver, but it's going to be weird because the tight end room over there is pretty good, especially when they drafted the Parkinson kid, and then they got Disler over there, or Disley, sorry. They got a couple good tight ends over there. They just had some injuries. Seattle in their tight end room, like 2 or 3 guys went down last year. I remember, I think I had Disley in fantasy last year, and he went down and he was lighting it up, but he's very talented. So, but Russ loves his tight ends. He loves throwing the ball. He loves that safety blanket. So they could find a spot for him. 46 catches, 712 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He didn't really anything eye popping or nothing like that. So and that was it. But their whole draft was kind of like, you know what I mean? It was nothing special. Nothing really popped out like too much going, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta, the one thing when I do these draft grades, every football player that gets drafted, even guys that get undrafted, that go to teams, they're all great football players. So don't think that I'm dissing on your team or anything like that because I don't like your players or like your team. It's not even that. Everybody is good. You get drafted to the NFL, man. You're a baller. You know what I mean? It's just that I try to look at needs and I try to look at other things like that. They hit a couple needs. They did hit a couple needs, I thought, but nothing eye-popping. So I'm going to give the Seattle Seahawks, I'm just going to give them a C. I'm going to give them a C. You didn't wow me. I wasn't totally hating on your draft. I almost gave them a C+. I'm going to give you guys a solid C. And that's it. You know what I mean? Seahawks fans, come at me. Let's go. You know what I mean? It's no disrespect though, man. I just don't see the eye popping guy. I just don't see the wow in any of the picks that they had. But hey, man, Schneider's done it before. The GM there. Like I said, 2012, everybody destroyed that draft. Everyone destroyed it, and look what happened. You got like 2 future Hall of Famers on there, right? Like, so it's just, who knows, man. Every draft is a crapshoot. Throw the dice. You never know, guys. So, but that's it. I'm almost done with these draft grades. I might even do every single team. I don't know, but I know for request, I know I got one more, and I think it's the Steelers. And I'll try to get in my Lion stuff. And yeah, man, having fun. Everyone stay safe, man. There's crazy shit going on right now, guys. With all these protests and everything in the States. Everybody just, I don't know, stay cool, guys. All right? Bam.